Right, so just before we went back on the air this season, my former journalist buddy Graham Jones over at Yamaha invited me to join him for a quick and dirty 3-day ride down in Tennessee, in an effort to shake off the effects of a deep freeze here in Canada. The quick plan was to load up a couple of new Yamaha Star touring machines, a Venture TC and an Eluder, and head straight south down the I-75 from Toronto to Nashville. Our intention was to ride our motorcycles from there further on south to Memphis. However, a quick weather-related change of plans found us riding southeast to Chattanooga, Tennessee on the first day, and then west to Muscle Shoals, Alabama on day 2. And finally back up to Nashville via the Natchez Trace Parkway on day 3. All in all, it was a great break from the snow up north. And as a result, we're thinking we may just have to do something like this again next winter. So Graham, I can't believe that we pulled off this Conquer Road segment. You know, it was put together so quickly. We were waiting for the press units and the Venture and the Eluder, and they finally showed up and we were like, okay, now we've got a chance to take off for a few days. I just, looking back on that trip, it was one of the best road trips ever, and yet we were able to get down there from Toronto in like basically a day.
Yeah, totally. You know, we loaded up the trailer in the morning with a couple of bikes and just put our heads down, did the interstate all the way there. But yeah, by early evening, you're settled in and get a good night's sleep and get up early and get ready to tackle it. And that's exactly what we did.
And it really was a great way to shake off what had been for us here in Ontario would have been a nasty winter. We were able to shake that off so quickly. And the other thing too was we weren't in the best of weather, and the motorcycles we had to use, it was just a fluke that this was the product year for these bikes, but they were perfect for this trip.
Yeah, absolutely. We couldn't have asked for better bikes. So we had the Venture TC, which is the full dresser, and then the Eluder, which is the bagger version of the same bike. And we had heated seats. The Venture's got heated grips, adjustable windscreen, lots of amenities, lots of wind protection and weather protection. So even in those times when we had a little bit of rain, we were still really well protected and stayed warm.
Yeah, that was nice. The creature comforts. We had GPS at our fingertips, and because we were tracking the weather and changing our plans almost hourly, I just don't know how many times we stopped and reconfigured the GPS, but that was such a nice thing to have, especially on this trip. Any thoughts on maybe doing this again next year, and if so, where we would go?
Yeah, I mean, that area is great. Turns out Tennessee's got fantastic riding roads.
Yeah.
So another trip back there would be good, but you've also got lots of other areas that you can get to in a day from Ontario, from elsewhere in Canada too, right?
Yeah, I was thinking like maybe also the Carolinas. Like we've been to South Carolina in the middle of winter. It's got some great roads as well. And with our Canadian friends out west in Calgary and Vancouver, I mean, they've got great options too. It would be nothing for somebody in Vancouver to get down to Northern California, or the Calgary guys to get down to Utah, or even as far as Phoenix, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
And do it when it's bad here, because down there's no one on the road. Like, we got into hotels, we got to negotiate on those hotels, we got them cheaper, and like the Natchez Trace Parkway there wasn't a soul on it.
So it was a little playground for us, right? So that's exactly it. It's a perfect chance to do this, and I think anybody that gets a chance to do it will wonder why they didn't do it sooner, because it takes a day, you know, and you're there.
Stretch out your season, literally. Graham, it was awesome. Let's do it again.
Pleasure, yeah, thank you.
You bet.